Welcome to BalletWise. My name is Michael Wise, its host and its creator. I know we haven't put out a video in a while. I've been pretty much stuck in a small hole and I just about got out. But what we want to talk about today is, do you feel ignored? Are you having troubles in class because you're just not connecting with your teacher? Is there something that you're doing or they're doing that might be causing you to feel ignored? Now, quite often when you're in a ballet class, there are some very basic things you can do because I can honestly tell you that we don't always develop a good connection with all of our teachers. I've had teachers that I did not get along with. I had other teachers that I would fall on a sword for. But if you're one of those individuals that you feel like you're being ignored, whether it is from a really great teacher that you do love or from a teacher that you're not quite sure what's going on, there are some very basic things that you can do that will allow you to continue to progress in those classes until either a change can take place or you move on beyond that individual, or eventually if you move on to a different school. Now, one of the first things you can always do if you feel like you're being ignored and you're not getting corrections is, well, how about maybe applying everyone else's correction? So when the teacher looks at that other student and says you need to pull up, well, maybe you should be pulling up as well. Or you need to be turning your leg out more. Okay, I'm going to turn my leg out more. Sometimes there are teachers that also believe that they've already given you a correction that you haven't fixed yet. So they're just waiting for you to fix that mistake. Every teacher has a different way that they treat their students and they look at their students. There are some teachers out there that pick their favorites and everybody else just gets thrown to the wayside. Now, in that situation, there are things you can do. And the perfect example is exactly what I just said a minute ago. Apply everyone else's corrections to you. Because all of a sudden, the teacher will probably notice that you're improving without being given direct corrections. There are other times that you might be in a class with a teacher that doesn't make sense, you don't like, and in some ways, you almost feel like they want to bully you. Well, you have to understand that there are always two sides to every story. And I don't want you to sit there and think that you're the reason why the problem is occurring, but also I don't want you to think that it's 100% the teacher's problem. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree, and we have to move on. I've had teachers like that. I had a particular teacher at North Carolina School of the Arts that I never got along with at all. I would avoid her at all costs. In her classes, I'd stand as far away from her as possible. And then one summer, I went off to San Francisco Ballet, studied with some Russians, and then came back to school. And the first day back, I had class with her. And I stood as far away from her as I humanly could. I just went in my mind and I did what I needed to do. And in the middle of bar, she walked all the way across the room and walked up to me and said, "You know what? You've improved so much, and I know I had nothing to do with it." That's when I finally respected her. We never were going to get along, and she was never going to be able to teach me. But the difference is that teachers do respect when we do the work. Teachers do respect when they see somebody improving and they haven't had anything to do with it. And that may be something you might need to do if you feel ignored. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to push you into being more aggressive or more passive. It's the complete opposite. I'm trying to get you to believe in yourself. If you know that you have a sense of worth and you're in that class, yeah, it's frustrating when the teacher doesn't pay attention to you. It's aggravating when you don't get a single correction the entire class. But you can do one of two things. You can either just sit there and complain about it, or you can actually try to do something about it. Doing something about it usually starts with ourselves. Take those corrections that you hear other people give and apply them. Sometimes if it gets to be too bad, maybe you should set up a time, take someone with you, but sit down and talk to the teacher and explain where you see you're having problems and you don't understand why you're not getting those corrections. Teachers should be available to you to have those conversations, but also be aware that you may hear things you don't want to hear in those conversations. Now, there's always this other problem that happens when you don't seem to get along with a teacher and you feel ignored is, well, you're being ignored because the teacher has no interest in working with you. That doesn't have anything to do with you, and it has everything to do with them. Because you can go and have that meeting and they will sit there and just tell you, oh, keep doing what you're doing. You're such a lovely dancer, blah, 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 blah. And then the very next class, you still don't get anything, or you get a trivial correction. Those are the things that you have got to understand. To be a dancer, you have to believe in yourself first to be able to accomplish or maximize what you're gaining from those teachers. I'm not saying that you can wake up one morning and be super strong, but you can start by actually trying to understand and believe in yourself. It's a process. It's not something that just happens overnight. Now, I'm not meaning I want you to be the cocky girl that walks in there with a swag and stands in the bar and knocks people over. That's not confidence. Your goal is to walk in there, know your worth, and work. And if you're not getting the correction, so what? Because you know what? You're going to hear other corrections. You can look at the other dancers. You can look at dancers that are doing things well and try to learn from them. Now, if you are in the unfortunate situation where you have almost an aggressive interaction with a teacher, having a conversation with them probably isn't going to solve the problem. You can sit there and try to ignore it, and you can sit there and try to do the best you can, but sometimes there are people out there that are just downright mean and vindictive. And in that situation, and it's an unfortunate situation, it may be time to look for a new teacher or a new studio. Now, I'm not trying to push anyone in that direction, but we have to understand that sometimes we perceive that we're being ignored when we're not. Sometimes there's miscommunication that causes the teacher to ignore you. And then there are some times that there's a genuine reason why you're being ignored, and there isn't anything you can do about it. Ballet is one of these things that all of us are in. Every personality type, every kind of person. And we're going to end up having personality conflicts with a lot of people, and we're also going to find people that we want to make family instantly. Hopefully this has helped you. My name's Michael Wise. This has been BalletWise. And help us grow this channel. If you have the opportunity, tell other people about us. Share it with other individuals that you might have in your ballet class. But the messages and things that we're talking about are real problems that may be able to help someone out there, even if it doesn't help you. So once again, this has been BalletWise, and I want you to keep dancing. And remember, be the best person you can be.